In level 3, we will be performing operations with radicals, and the operations will be adding and subtracting and distributing. When you add and subtract radicals, the radicals must be the same. So, for example, I can add 2 radical 5 plus 7 radical 5. I'm allowed to add these together because they have the same radical. It's just like combining like terms. And I would add the numbers in front, the coefficients. 2 plus 7 is 9, so that would be 9 radical 5. Now, if you have radicals that are different, you can't combine them. Okay, so in this first example, we are going to first use the distributive property and distribute this negative 2 to both of those parts. I'm going to just bring down 3 radical 2 minus 2 radical 5 plus 5. And then when I multiply negative 2 times 3 radical 5, I multiply the regular number parts, and we get negative 6 radical 5. And then I multiply negative 2 times negative 7, and I get plus 14. Now, any radicals that are the same can be combined. So right here, I have a radical 5, and right here I have a radical 5. Those can be combined. My regular numbers can be combined, and the 3 radical 2 can't be combined with anything. So I just bring down 3 radical 2. Negative 2 radical 5 plus negative 6 radical 5 makes negative 8 radical 5, or minus 8 radical 5. And then 5 plus 14 is 19. And that's as far as I can go. I can't simplify that anymore because none of those are the same type of radical. They can't be added together. In this next example, we have to simplify the radicals before we can combine them. So I need to do a factor tree for 12. 12 is 3 times 4, which is 2 times 2. I have a pair of 2's and a 3 that stays inside, so I get 2 radical 3. But I already had a 7 out front, so 7 times 2 radical 3, which makes 14 radical 3. For my next one, I simplify square root of 8. That's 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. I have a pair of 2's, so I take 1 2 out, and I leave the other 2 in. We had a negative in front of that term, so I bring down that minus. And I'll bring it down on this line, minus 2 root 2. And then I simplify square root of 48. 4 times 12, 2 times 2, 2 times 6, 2 times 3. 2 pairs of 2's, and if I take out 2 pairs of 2's, that's a 4, so we get plus 4 radical 3, because this 3 had to stay inside. And then 4 radical 2 can't be simplified, so I just bring it down. And then I check to see which ones can be combined. 14 radical 3 plus 4 radical 3 can be combined. That makes 18 radical 3. And then negative 2 radical 2 plus 4 radical 2 makes positive 2 radical 2. In this next example, I need to distribute this negative sign to both of these terms. I don't really need the parentheses right here, so I'm just going to bring down 2 minus radical 3. And then distributing that negative, I get minus 4 and then minus radical 27. Now I need to simplify my radical 27. 27 is 3 times 9, which is 3 times 3. So I have a pair of 3's and another 3 that's going to stay inside. So this is minus 3 radical 3. I bring down my other terms. And then I see which ones I can combine. I can combine negative radical 3 and 3 radical 3. and then the 2 minus 4. So this gives me negative 2 minus 4 radical 3. Now in the last example, I have two binomials that are being multiplied together. To do this, I have to distribute or use the FOIL method or whatever you guys call it, but I need to multiply my first terms, my outside terms, my inside terms, and my last terms. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times radical 3 is 2 radical 3. Remember, you can't multiply a regular number times a radical, you just write them multiplied together. And then negative radical 3 times 4 gives me negative 4 radical 3. And then negative radical 3 times positive radical 3 gives me negative radical 9. Now the square root of 9 is a perfect square, so that's just going to be minus 3. I'm going to bring down my other terms. And I check to see what can be combined. I can add the 8 and the negative 3. And I can combine 2 radical 3 minus 4 radical 3. So we get 5 minus 2 radical 3.